Hello, Facebook. This is a very special occasion because April and I have known each other for a long time, but it's the first time we've appeared on live video together. And I've got to say, good afternoon, April.
Good day, Steven.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, if we say good day, then that.
Still garbled.
No, it's perfect.
Okay, good.
Right, now we've got a show. Thank you, Barb, and hello to Barb and to
Hi,
Roy
Barb.
and to Roland. It's good to have everybody watching us today. And we're just talking about ourselves and about Belive.tv. And so next question is, how did we connect, you and I?
Yes, I was doing what I do, strolling down memory lane before the show because I am all about documenting my journey and how I connect with people and when. And I actually sent you a friend's request on September 22nd, 2016, because I had seen you actually at the tail end of Blab
Uh-huh.
when you were with Leland.
Yes.
And yeah, so yeah, that's how you kind of got on my radar. And then I was following what after Blab died, your live streams on Facebook, and I saw the many people we were connected with, including my cousin who doesn't even live stream.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I just I saw that you're sharing with others how to use this technology, and that is so valuable. And you connect with so many people regardless of what they're doing, and you're just so helpful, and I love that about you.
That's very kind of you. Yeah, I mean, Blab was where it all started to happen. We started to notice each other's shows, and it's gone on from there, really. I think Be Live has brought everybody closer together, though, because that's basically Be Live. We both, in the first week it came out, decided this is for us. And I'd like to give a shout out to Daniel and Safria, as I'm sure you would as well, for bringing everybody together, because BeLive.tv is making a lot of people connect, isn't it?
It is. And because they do such a great job on their Facebook page of posting really great questions that allow them to get to know their community better so they know what to provide for us as hosts and creators. And now they have a group, the Be Livers group, and that allows people to more freely share their shows there so that we can find where they are.
Well, that's it. With the Be Livers group, and you just search Be Livers on Facebook and you'll find it. You'll find people in there who've been broadcasting for a couple of years or a couple of months or even thinking about it. And the support in there is excellent, isn't it? Because it's not just Be Live who are active in there, because the management are active. It's everybody who's on Be Live TV. There's some great
Yes.
people in there.
And I love that we can show up and help each other because like you said, you have new people in there that are discovering the platform and they're not sure how to schedule their reminders, or, all of the mechanical stuff. And I see you jump in quickly when other people are struggling to make it all work. And I love that we can help each other so that we can put out the best shows.
Well, it is a team effort, because once you're in sort of a group like that, you don't feel like you're on your own, do you? You've got somebody you can ask questions of. And the other thing is you're going to be taken seriously. I mean, we know how difficult it is to actually get going on live video, taking those first steps, which we'll talk about later. But to have somebody there to help you makes it a lot easier. Now, I think the thing that I love about Be Live TV, and I'm using it today, is the agenda. That was a great step forward because nobody else has got it.
No, exactly. And by the way, I want to say hello to Karen, who just said hello to us because I met Karen through Be Live and we did a meet and greet with her last week. And she's here supporting us. How awesome is that? Um, yeah, the agenda feature. Hi, Donald. Ah, see, I love Be Live because you could just say hello to everybody and bring their names and their faces up on the screen and feel so connected to everybody. The agenda feature is awesome for a person like me who needs lots of notes and lots of organization.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
Before this, I would have had scraps of paper all over the place, or I kept in my head. And the thing that happens then is when you've not got a running order, you suddenly run out of steam. You forget what you're going to talk about, whereas the agenda fixes all that. And the other thing is when we're interviewing people we don't know, not only can you put bullet points on the screen, but you can actually use the agenda to have somebody's bio. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it is, well, from that point of view. Now, I noticed when I'm watching your show with Safria earlier today that you have a logo on the top right of your screen when you're broadcasting. How did that come about?
You mean the little heart with
Yeah.
yeah. I was actually, as I do every Monday, when I'm at my job, I watched the Jeff Adams weekly Belive show, and I happened to be in there one day, and um, I don't even remember what made me bring it up, but I said, wouldn't it be great if you guys changed powered by BeLive.tv to say empowered
Brilliant.
by
Yeah.
BeLive? And because they do, they're empowering us with what they're providing on their platform. And the next time I went live, I didn't notice it until the replay. And it was only because my friend Roy pointed it out to me. And Safrir and Daniel were actually waiting for me to notice it because they're like, oh, I wonder when she's going to see it. And they were so cute about that. And that's the special touch that they provide in this community that makes it so special.
I totally agree, and it's just wonderful that they not only get involved and understand social media and how it works and what we're looking for, but they provide great service, and in addition to that, they will go the extra mile. I mean, I quite like the feature that they do every week, which is where they highlight shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they highlight the 4 shows.
Best of BeLive hashtag.
Right. Now, the best of BeLive hashtag is not necessarily the rock stars. It's the people who started using BeLive and the various ways they're actually using it. I mean, basically, what it means is, because we're going to talk about discoverability a bit later, it means that you can get discovered by BeLive. And people can get to know about your show, because at the moment we've got a big problem. And we've had this problem since the close of Blab. And that's discoverability, isn't it?
Yes, huge.
It's a huge thing. I mean, I interviewed Hoden Lear last week, and I had one because she's a very interesting person. She's got her own television station, and she started on BeLive.tv. And the first broadcast that she did, she had 34,000 views. And I thought, exactly. And she, on a YouTube channel, she's got a video with 250,000 views. Now, you sort of think, well, how did that happen? And then you know that when you want to be successful, you should model yourself on somebody and sort of pick their brains and understand how they did it. So I was sort of blown away by a half-hour chat with Hoden, where she actually said how she did it. And basically, it's what we're doing at the moment, but she's been doing it for longer.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no magic recipe. It's hard work, and it's actually getting to know a network of friends. Now, that brings us on to, quite neatly, segueing to Netfriending. Can you explain what Netfriending is?
At its lowest common denominator, it is about opening up relationships rather than something that feels more transactional, especially since so many people are using live streaming for their business. It's about connecting with people organically and finding out what you have in common and how you can help each other. And Karen Glasser is a perfect example of that because, and I hope she does not mind me sharing this, but we did a meet and greet with her last week because I saw her interview Daniel and Safrir actually just a day or two before I was doing my interview with Safrir. And I loved how she showed up in her authenticity, and she believed everything she was saying. It didn't feel, because it wasn't scripted. It was, I'm sure she had her little talking points, but it was so genuine that you could tell she loved Belive so much that that's why she was there interviewing them. So I reached out to her, Roy and I did, and we met with her, and you know, she immediately asked how she could help us with what we're working on. And that is actually what Netfriending is all about, is just shouting other people from the rooftops, being somebody's champion, their brand champion. And that sounds to me like what you were just talking about, just showing up for other people and asking how you can help them.
Well, it's not rocket science, but it's not very common. I mean, it is. I mean, you brought it to life with Roy, because you do the Google Hangout shows, and you've done it. How many shows have you done?
I think last week was our 7th week. We were doing it on Mondays and Tuesdays, but now we've scaled it back to Mondays, and we're just kind of seeing if more people are going to show up. We know they will, because eventually, you know, it does take a while to have people come in and then share with other people their experience, and then by word of mouth it will grow.
Well, certainly after this show, if you post a link in the or give me the link, I'll post in the show replay. But at I mean, basically, this is the principle of networking, and it's also brings back when I started in 2006. There was a slogan. Now, I love the occasional slogan, and this was "Givers gain." And in other words, givers first, and you gain second. And the magic of it is, from my point of view, is that if you give to one person freely without expecting any return at all, then down the road, somebody else who you might not even know now will help you, just out of the blue. And it seems to work. If you go out of your way to help people, then eventually it will come back, and sometimes it comes back tenfold. Yeah, and that's the beauty of live video as well, is that. Right. Okay. Yeah. Now, I've been pulled up on this last week, so I'm going to go with it. And it was, as Roy says quite correctly, Ivan Misner of BNI, who coined the phrase "givers gain." It was then borrowed. Well, I think it's been borrowed quite a few times over the years, but I know it from a UK site called Academy. But if you are willing to help others, then you will benefit in the end. And it's hard to get people to understand that, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's so easy. It's so easy to do. Just give, and it's really what so many other people call paying it forward. But even if nobody has given you anything, still give it. You pay it forward. Be that person who goes to your local Subway. I don't know if they have that where you are, but go to your McDonald's and go, just, you know, pay for that person in line behind you. It's the same way here on the internet. Just show up and be a go-giver.
Indeed. And Roy's confirmed that it was Ivan. Yeah, I mean, if you do get involved and help people, then you're going to benefit. Because the other point about this is there is a certain pleasure in helping people. Yeah, I mean, if you make somebody feel good, then you feel good too. I mean, it's a win-win situation for everybody. And if you have the knowledge and you want to share it, then I can't think of a better way than help people out, especially in live broadcasting. Now, we're going to come on to our next topic, which is one which I was speaking to Peter Stewart. Now, he and I do a show, well, I produce his show on Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And that question that arose is finding guests. How do you find guests for your shows?
See, what I've noticed is that there's like a recycled guest list. And a lot of it's the people from Blab. It's such a tight circle of people who know each other, who were showing up constantly on that platform, that I feel like I see the same people being interviewed over and over again. And that's great for people who don't yet know those people, but there's so many. It's kind of, I'm going to zig and zag here and there as I think of things. But
no worries.
Mario Armstrong is a TV personality. I don't know that he's that well known, but he got on my radar in a live streaming group, and he's doing a crowd produced, what I call a TV 2.0 show. It's about engaging with other people online in the live streaming environment. He's championing the underdog is what he's doing. There's so many people on the internet who have a story to tell or have a product that they want to get out in front of people, and they don't have that platform to do it. They need a voice that's bigger than them. And that's where I kind of seek out people that I want to interview, is look for those people who have so much value, but they're just not getting in front of the right people, or maybe they don't have somebody to interview them who's asking them those really intimate, deep, and meaningful questions that are going to get their story told in the right way.
True. And I also always on the lookout for guests to appear on the show, because what I'm looking for people who are in business, who want to promote the services and products that they have, and how they can help people. Now, it doesn't have to be a for-profit concern. It can be for a cause, for a charity. And I think live video, I mean, this is a bugbear with me, and certainly in the UK, is my thought is that going live is for everyone. I mean, anybody can go live, but it's not that simple, is it?
No. And I'm thinking as I sit here, I'm glad I'm not the host, because there's a lot that goes into the, changing the format, the layout of the screen, and you're reading the comments, discerning which one you're going to throw up there, and you have to follow your agenda and still be engaged with the person you're speaking with. So sometimes we just make it look easy, but it's not.
No, it's with practice, isn't it? It's like anything. If you just, I've got a friend called Babs who's a WordPress host, and her motto is JDI, just do it. If you leap in with both feet, I mean, what can go wrong? We can tell a long story there. But if you're going to go live on your own, you start off, and I'd say if you're going to go live, is first of all go live in private, so that you can go live on Facebook, settings of private, and the only person who will see it is yourself and anybody who you show it to. Mm-hmm. Then the next stage is to go live to friends, because they're not going to. Well, some of them will tell you the truth, but most of them will be very supportive. And then the next stage is friends of friends, which is effectively the public. So you can do it in stages. You can go live in stages.
Or you can just do what I do and just jump in and just cross your fingers.
Well, you can. I mean, the thing about live TV is or live video is that you make a mistake and you just crack on to the next thing. Yeah. I mean, if anything goes wrong, you just that happens. That's live. I mean, we can't edit ourselves. But I think there's one thing in terms of a show. I just want to take this from Peter, and welcome Peter while we take a break for a moment. Is there a direct link to Be Live? The link to Be Live is by belive.tv. and that's it. That will get you in. Now, one thing that we can't do, and we don't have the power to yet, is to invite you on this show. Though, April, do we hear whispers?
We do. There's been a lot of whispers and a lot of teasing from the Belive co-founders. Um, so I'm pretty certain that they are hard at work to create an environment where we can cycle people in and out of multiple seats like we did in the Blab days, because we're all kind of screaming for that. Hey, when are we getting 4 seats?
Indeed, because that it doesn't double the possibilities. It sort of quadruples. It blows the whole thing wide, and you can have a totally different show if you can have 3 or 4 people on screen than with 2. I mean, it's just the potential that it has, and if we can in some way create the great chats that you had on Blab, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yes. So, but you do, you've done the smile time thing a lot. You do that in conjunction with this, I guess, depending on what type of show it is, right?
It does. It does depend on the type of show. If I'm doing a solo, then because of the agenda, I will come on here and do it on Belive. If, like we are doing today, we're chatting to each other and we're taking comments from everybody who's watching us and trying to turn viewers into participants, then just having the 2 of us on screen, I would go for Belive again because of the agenda feature. But what I would love to see, as you would love to see as well, is up to 4 seats. Now we've got that on Smile Time, but Smile Time is a different feel, different show. So that's where I run 3 shows out of Smile Time each week. On Monday, I'm with David Vaughan, and that's at 11 Eastern. On Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, I'm with Leland Best. And then a show which I don't expect anybody on the East Coast to catch is at 5 a.m. Eastern on Thursdays, which this week is our 65th show, which is Blabbing for Britain. And all those shows are to help people get involved and sort of push live video out. Now, it would be good. I mean, if Belive.tv had 4 seats, then there would be choices to be made.
Yes.
And it's what I just to go back to Belive TV for a moment. What I do love it is how responsive the guys on Belive.tv are, and how helpful. I noticed from watching your show with Sophia earlier that there's a new way to contact them on their page. You can go to the Belive.tv business page, and they've now got a message button, which takes you direct to Messenger, and you can sort of talk to support through their Facebook page. And it doesn't get much simpler than that, really. Right. Okay. Now back to where we were.
Yes, because he has that handy dandy agenda feature. He's not going to get lost.
No, I'm not going to get lost. If anybody watching us, in actual fact, okay, just a shout out to everybody watching. Thank you for joining us today. If you've got any questions for April I, then please type them in. We can see them on screen, and as you saw earlier, we've been displaying them and going through them. If you've just joined us, this is April Roga, April 2.0, and Steven Healey, and April's in the USA, I'm in the UK, and we're talking about encouraging you to go live in 2017. And we quite enjoyed today being on Belive.tv, and we are now looking for our next topic. Okay.
So why do you think that people are still shy? I don't even know, I'm putting words in those people's mouths, but why do you think that there's still a hesitation for people to live stream?
I think that it's the fear of getting it wrong. It's a bit like when you're at school, you've got to stand up in class, the teacher asks you a question, you've got to give everybody the correct answer. And you don't always do that. Okay, so you turn bright red and you know, and it's that sort of response. It's the fear of the unknown and going live in front of we potentially could be talking today to a few million people, but we're not, but we can pretend. But it's that fear that there's a big, like, there's a live audience. And I've got a friend who actually trains people to do presentations. And he's got techniques which can help. And you can go and check out his videos. I'll put a link in afterwards. But it is just doing it. Why do you think that there isn't a take up? Because I expected that. I'll tell you what I thought when Facebook Live started, and you could go live on your own page, and you can go live in a group, and you can go live on your business page. I expected a great rush of people to do it. I don't think I've seen it yet.
Yeah. I think people are, maybe the way that it's set up, like here in this environment, if it was me and another person, maybe that person would feel like there's too much of a spotlight right on them. Whereas in the Blab environment, while it was recorded, it wasn't on Facebook. So it felt more homey, it felt safer, and you could kind of blend in with everybody else. So I think people experimented with it more there.
It was a closed environment, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's how I got comfortable with doing this, because I would mostly stay in the chat box when I first started in Blab.
Yeah, down the right hand side. Yeah, that's where I was. I joined Blab, and I thought, what's going on? It was confusing at first, but then I was on a show from a gentleman down in Cornwall, and he said, "Does anybody want to come on video?" And before I knew it, because there's only him in the room, it just felt, personal chat. I was on air, and then I saw a show by Barb, and Barb became involved. Now, Barb's got a great point, which I'll just read out. What are each of you doing to introduce those who live near to you to use live video? Well, that's a great point.
Barb and I were actually talking a little bit about this the other day, and she's actually planted a little bit of a seed in my head about maybe going to my local news station and asking them to do a segment on live streaming, and maybe get some local people excited about it, because I could do that.
That's it. Yeah, indeed. I mean, I am a member of the Wiltshire Business Club, because I live in Wiltshire, and the Wiltshire Business Club is 700 local businesses, and they have live events which people can attend and speak at. But I also try to get the business people themselves to come on a monthly show. So once a month, I take a guest who's a member of the club and bring them onto video for the first time. And we sort of meet up a quarter of an hour before, and I get them used to the camera and make sure everything works. And then we just chat for about 20 minutes. And the thing is that if you're a business and you come on live video, as we both know, this is about 1/3 of the journey, because this becomes a YouTube video, and you can edit it, you can repurpose it. So, I mean, we used to be told that if you want your business to get noticed, you write a blog. I think we should rewrite that and say, if you want your business to be noticed, go live. What are your thoughts?
I agree. But people need to know to not just press the button and go live. I think there's, for so many people who do live streaming, it's so scripted sometimes, and there's no engagement from, I've seen a lot of people live stream and not even talk with their audience. And it's not just a one-time thing. That's how they show up every single time. And if I wanted that as a viewer, I would just turn on my TV set.
That's a great point, because it's the interaction, isn't it? It's getting people involved. I mean, we can see the comments that are being made, we can highlight them on the screen, we can talk about them. So it's not the soapbox, is it?
Right, but a lot of times it does feel that way. And I think if people realize the connections they're going to make through live streaming and they focus on that in the engagement, that's what's really going to help their business in the long run. Yes.
It is. I agree. I mean, you cannot. I mean, before we started the show, now before we did today's show, we put together the agenda, and I've got it in front of me now. And basically, we decide what we're going to talk about, so that we're prepared. And I think with any show, you've got to, one of the things you can't do on live video is pretend. You can't busk it. You've got to know what you're talking about, because what are your thoughts on pretending? We'll call it that.
Would you know that sometimes I actually do wing it when I do a show? Can you tell that I wing it? I have like bullet points, but
Yeah.
for me, I can't do the scripted thing. And I know there's a lot of people who will read. And it just, yeah, I have to feel, I have to be in the moment with the people that are there with me. And so while I do have an idea of what I'm going to talk about, it's not necessarily very structured.
No, I don't think it has to be totally structured, but you do have to know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Bob said, challenge me to give an example. If you came on air and you were going to talk to people about the British monarchy, and you'd only ever read Wikipedia, and you tried to do a show for half an hour on the scant knowledge you'd gained from Wikipedia, you'd have a big problem. If you're going to talk about something live on air, it should be something you know about, something you're interested in, so that when you do talk, you're actually talking from knowledge that you've gained over a period of time. Now, I feel quite comfortable talking. Thank you, Bob. I feel quite comfortable talking about live video because you, Bob, and I, well, Bob's been involved for a long time, but you and I have been involved for quite a while now. And if anybody asks us a question, we either know the answer or we know somebody who does.
Right.
And Bob's quite rightly saying, do your research. And you don't have to have the answer, but you don't, there are only so many times you can say, I'll ask a friend later. You know, I mean, so
yeah, I think you should be comfortable about the topic on which you're speaking so that you can just be able to freely speak about it, and when people see that you're knowledgeable about it, they will also recognize your confidence.
And the confidence comes from doing it, doesn't it? I mean, if you know what you're talking about and people can ask you questions about it, well, I'll go further back than that. If you enjoy something and your enjoyment comes through whilst you're talking about it, that's golden.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and definitely go back and look at your live streams as a host or as a guest host and pick it apart, because that's the only way you're going to learn.
Indeed. Now, I sometimes think I shouldn't be watching my own shows afterwards. But
why?
Well, how can I put this? What? Because the ethos that you shouldn't be watching yourself because it's not the done thing. It might be a British thing, but I think you've got to watch the shows that you've done, as you said, to learn. Yeah, because what we know about this live video thing is that you cannot do, no matter how hard you try, a perfect show. There are going to be slip-ups, and you've got to. If you watch the replay and you're self-critical about it, not beat yourself up self-critical, but self-critical about that particular point, I could have done this, then the next show will be better.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch this and I'm going to say, okay, maybe I should have sat up a little higher because the comments were cutting off my chin, or, you know.
Yeah, and looking at the camera, that's my biggest problem.
Yes, oh yeah.
I mean, It doesn't. When you're chatting on Blab, when we were chatting back in the day on Blab, and the 4 seats up, you'd actually look at the person who was talking.
Yeah.
And that's a habit that I got on Blab, and it's very difficult now to be professional, or more professional, I should say, and look at the camera because I feel I should be looking. But anyway, that's the sort of things you pick up when you're actually watching a replay. But it's not to be too self-critical, but to be aware that we can all learn and we can all improve.
Well, and here's another thing that now that you mentioned the camera, when I was talking with Safrir behind the scenes after our show ended, I told him I thought it would be great to have, and I think Fire Talk had or still has this feature where you can assign somebody as your co-host, and Blab even had that too, where that person can control the comments and bring somebody on and do the things that you could do as a host, so that they're doing that while you're actually engaged with the person or people you're talking to, and you can look at the camera and be in the moment.
Well, that's it. You can concentrate. We could, if I wasn't looking down constantly to see who commented and putting the comment on the screen, then it makes it a better experience for everybody. It makes a better experience for us, because I mean it's sort of being discourteous when I'm looking down there, but it's not. I've actually got something to do. So there is that. The other thing is that, as you quite rightly said when you were interviewing Zafria, if something happened to my feed now, and Peter's confirming that we do that, we do that. Peter, if something happened to my feed now, the whole show collapses. Not only do I go off screen, we both go off screen, and that's a big problem.
Well, actually, I did do a Belive with somebody once where I was the guest host, and it allowed me to go live before she came in as the host. And I was just kind of sitting there, and I couldn't do anything but talk because I didn't have control to bring people's comments up. So that was a little weird, but I made it through. I improvised.
Yeah, so I'm totally with you on that, April, that we should have the ability to manage it. I mean, they are, as you say, it was part of Blab. It is part of Fire Talk. It also is going to be part of it's going to be part of Smile Time as well. And the comments are coming in thick and fast. I just noticed one from Claire. Claire Evans is in Sussex in England, and hello, Claire. And juggling and multitasking is a challenge. It's certainly a challenge for me.
Yes.
And Bob is coming back and saying, as long as one is in the live cast, it may still live. Okay, I understand that, but it is basically in addition to that, and right, we've just been joined by royalty. Hello, Jeff.
Yes, and I saw Daniel too. Don't let him.
All right, okay. Hello, Jeff and Daniel. It's good to see you here. We're talking about all things live video, especially Belive.tv and the great team. And we have our wish list, and it's a common wish list, and you know, we know that you listen, so that's absolutely brilliant. I think it is a question of if we had co-moderators, then life would be a lot easier for everybody. I'm just trying to catch up, and I don't know whether Jeff's singing or not, but he's gone hey now, hey hey. So we might, if we were able to bring Jeff on screen, then he could regale us, I'm sure.
I don't know. I think I saw Jeff doing a live stream from the beach or something before we got on here. So
yeah, that's true. Now, just while we're here, a shout out simply because I can. Every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and that's 7 p.m. GMT, Krishna Day and Peter Stewart, not this Peter Stewart, but the Peter Stewart from a certain British broadcasting company, have a show at 7 o'clock, 2 p.m. Eastern, and it's Live Stream Insiders. It's a brilliant 30-minute show which brings you up to date on everything about live streaming, and that's across the whole spectrum of Facebook Live, Instagram, Periscope. And that brings me to the next point. Where do you live broadcast at the moment?
Right here.
Okay, right, point taken.
Always Belive.tv to Facebook, and always from when I'm hosting for my shows, always to our facebook.com/netfriending page.
And I at the moment broadcast on Facebook Live, either from Belive.tv, of course, or the other one that goes to Belive, which cuts it down a bit. And it's not Blue Jeans, because Krishna is on Blue Jeans, but it is in fact the other one. All right, okay. I can say, I was just joking, Barb. Peter does in fact work for the BBC, and he trains people to present live on air for the BBC.
Wow. I did not know that.
For the British Broadcasting Corporation. Oh yeah, well he doesn't want to, because he's got his reasons for not saying it live on air. He also says a British Broadcasting Company, but he does mean the BBC. And Krishna is a well-respected journalist in Ireland. So the two of them are news people, and when they come up with a 30-minute show, it's not about marketing. It's not marketing. They're not trying to sell you anything. All they're doing, as April and I are doing now, is imparting their knowledge freely so that you can learn. It's a great show. I know Bob and I enjoy it. It's on our. If we were to say, you know, what's your secret treat every week, then it's in live video. Then it's the live stream insiders in 15 minutes time. So if anybody can catch that, please do. And hopefully this show will run into that and we can just go. So if anybody has any questions, then April and I are happy to answer them. And yeah,
one of the things that that Roy and I are wanting to do is, and you may have heard us mention this before, I should say two of the things, is that we also want to, we are going to, it's just not, it's not a matter of if, it's when, put together a people search engine to help people that's where the discoverability is going to come in for us, is doing these meet and greets. I think I mentioned that before we went live, but Roy and I do these meet and greets with people that get on our radar, whether that's through like one of your shows or somebody else that we know, or in the Belive group. Especially now that that Belivers group exists, we're going to discover more people there. But we want to meet and greet with them so that we can get to know who they are and what they're doing. And then we can connect them with the right people and have them put together not just any profile, but the right profile, the one that's going to draw the right people to them in this people search engine. And then these people are already going to be doing their own shows. And we see this as being a 24/7 live stream channel that we want to put together, starting with my genre, which is special needs parents. And those are the most isolated people that I can think of that I know, because special needs parents are so often at home with their children, they don't get to go out and socialize. So we want to connect those people with each other, and they can be up at 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe struggling with something with their child. And where are they going to go at that time of the night? They're going to go to a live stream channel where they know somebody's already on there having a conversation, and they can maybe talk through some issues.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you could find support groups or interest groups easily, then that would be a boom, because the problem is knowing that people are out there. I mean, we know of each other. We know the people in our own circles who are broadcasting, but there are literally, I mean, Daniel has said that Belive.tv went from 5 or 6 shows a week to hundreds of shows a day.
Wow.
So we know that how busy Belive is, and we don't know well, we haven't got time to watch all the shows, but it'd be nice to know which shows they were. So discoverability, I sort of, if anything I can do to help yourself and Roy with that, then just say I'm more than willing to help. And I'm sure, and as Jeff is just saying, a support group is needed. That would be good. I mean, perhaps we can sort of get together once we can get 3 or 4 people on screen, get together and do a mastermind. Yes. And bring other people in as well. So yeah, it is a situation where we are pioneering. We're at the beginning. It's exciting, and we want more people to get involved, don't we?
Yes, and see, like, just from you and I have never done this before, and we've been chatting back and forth in text in group environment since September. And now here for the first time we get to speak live, and now there's people that follow you that don't follow me necessarily, or vice versa. So this gives us an opportunity to kind of mix up our tribes, and Indeed. They can hear my message and my tribe hears your message, and that's how this all works organically.
It does. I mean, one of the things that I think we both do this is after this show, when this show finishes, the live show finishes, is that we go back to the people who've commented today and just say thank you. It matters, because without people who are actually watching and getting involved today, it'd be fun to talk to each other, but what we're actually trying to do is promote live video and reach out to people and say, right, okay, we want you to get involved, we want to help you. So we go to the post afterwards and make comments and thank everybody and get involved. And it's magical, because it's all right. I was pleased last week. I'll tell you why. I've got the LBS with David Vaughan and John Upton. I run the LBS 17 group, and David and I broadcast on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern, and it's every Monday. And we got a new viewer. Now, there's nothing strange in that, but that new viewer then became a member of our group and did his first ever broadcast in the group. Now that's brilliant. That's what it's all about, reaching out to people and getting people to actually just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just about numbers. I think sometimes people get stuck on how many people are in our group or how many people are following our page. Is it 50 or is it 1,000 or is it 500,000? At the end of the day, does it matter if those people aren't engaging and there's no value in those numbers? But all it takes is one person, and you never know who you're going to meet.
You don't, because it's because the mechanics are simple and straightforward. If anybody likes the post that we're appearing on today, then their friends will see that they've liked it and will come and take a look. If they like it, then their friends of friends will come along and take a look. And that's how it grows exponentially, as you said, because it's just the way that Facebook is set up, that you can get somebody who you never knew before the show, you can get to know them after the show. That's why I love live video. That's why I love talking today. Because we can cross. Not only are we crossing a bridge between the US and the UK, we've done it without any politics, without religion, just with what matters on a day-to-day basis, and that's been wonderful. Yeah. So, all right, okay. Now we said
Nazim is here too, and
we said we had the king in the house earlier. Welcome, Nazim. Brilliant to see you. And if we could, you know that April and I would invite you on the show, but today we can't. And just so how multinational we are, we're now in the US, the UK, and Italy. And that is just magical. This technology allows us to get together. And the other thing, right. Now you see, Nazim it's almost 8 o'clock in Milan at the moment. So he's way ahead of us. And it's only 11 a.m. where Barb is. So there you go. We are truly international.
We are.
We are, and enjoying it. And we just want everybody to get involved in live video in 2017. And if there's anything that we can do to help, and I'm glad to be part of your project with Roy, and hope to see the Discoverability project taking shape and helping us all in live broadcasting. Right. Well, what a blast. Thank you, Ethel.
Thank you for having me.
Well, would you like to wrap it all up for everybody? Go for it.
This is this right here, what Steven and I are doing today is the epitome of live streaming. This is what it's all about, is connecting with somebody else, sharing your perspectives, collaborating, sharing ideas, and birthing new ideas from it, and figuring out how to connect with more people who are going to help you on your journey. And on my journey, with Roy Montero and myself, we're dedicated to providing heart-centered special needs parents and the people who cheer them on with the greatest resource of them all, each other. And that's the message that we are sharing. And so it's not just about special needs parents, it's about the people that can cheer them on. And that's my passion, because I'm a special needs mom. But I need cheerleaders in my life, and that's what so many in the live streaming community have been for me, and helping me personally grow on this journey since the Blab days. And now I look forward to growing even more in my Belive.tv days. So thank you so much for this opportunity to, I know you don't usually do a Sunday show, and so I am honored that you did one today, because you accommodated my schedule, and I appreciate that.
Well, it's all about, basically, I did so want to get together and talk, and it was an opportunity we both created to get together. And I look forward to the next time that we can do this. And as you said, thank you to everybody who's watched today. Thank you to everybody who's commented. Thank you to everybody around the world. We haven't mentioned Summit Live, Nazim. I think there's one or two shows probably taking place over the next couple of days that will come down on both sides of the fence about Summit Live, which was a celebration of live broadcasting, and it was good to watch the shows that came out of there. But for the moment, from the UK and from April in the USA, we'd like to say thank you very much. We've enjoyed chatting. We've just been chatting. It's great that you could join us and comment and get involved and participate. And I'm sure that after such an enjoyable hour, we'll be back again soon. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you during the week. Bye.